Thanks for coming in today, Peter. I'm glad we could schedule this appointment on such short notice. We didn't have a lot of time to go over why you needed to speak with me on the phone, so perhaps you could just start by telling me a little bit about why you're here.
A couple of weeks ago, I was in a car accident. I was driving along, and well, I was at the stoplight, and it turned green, and I just went, and there was this old lady, and I kind of hit her, and she's fine. I mean, you know, she had to go to the hospital, but she's like, you know, she's fine. But now that,
Well, that's good.
oh, so.
Could you go into maybe a little more detail about what happened? Just break it down a little more.
Well, I was going to Starbucks, and I hit a red light, and I was driving on Main, and it was raining, so I couldn't see too well, and the light had just turned green, and I went, and that was...
And then you ran into the old lady.
Yeah.
And what happened afterwards?
Oh, well, I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And the ambulance and the cops came, and yeah, and the cops interviewed me, and...
And what did they ask? What sort of things did they ask you?
They asked me if I'd been drinking. And
You hadn't been drinking, had you?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I hadn't been drinking. They asked me if I saw her, and I didn't. I mean, I was just looking at the light.
So you weren't looking at the street where you were heading, you were just looking at the light?
Yeah, I was looking at the light.
Okay. And once it turned green, where did you look?
I just straight ahead, I guess.
And the old lady, you didn't really see her till you hit her?
No, well, she was just sort of off to the side. I just nicked her. I mean, it was...
Okay. So you spoke to the police, and they asked you questions such as were you drinking, and had you seen the old lady, and anything else happen after the accident?
No.
Okay. Well, let's just reverse a little bit here and get back to when did this accident happen? What date?
Oh, it was last month, the Wednesday, the 24th.
Wednesday, the 24th of March?
Yes.
And you were driving along Main Street?
Yeah.
What kind of car do you have?
It's an 82 Mazda.
Okay. Color?
Blue.
Where were you heading?
I was going to Starbucks.
And after that?
Well, I had a job interview to go to. So.
Okay. Were you in a hurry?
Well, yeah. Guess.
So, were you late for your interview?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so you're heading to Starbucks in your 82 blue Mazda, and it was raining. Exactly what time was this? Well, approximately?
1:30.
1:30 in the afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had any car accidents before this?
Well, about 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about that accident?
Oh, I just got rear-ended. It was nothing.
Okay.
There was no damage.
And that's it for accidents up to this point?
Yeah.
Okay. No, nothing on your driving record, your driver's license. It's clean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the accident. 1:30 in the afternoon, you're driving along Main Street, it's raining, you stop at a red light. Do you know what the intersection was? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was 17th, Main and 17th.
Main and 17th. Okay, and you're waiting for the light to turn. Light turns, you go, and the old lady, you run into. You nick the old lady. Did you actually run into her? Did you just sort of sideswipe her?
I just sort of like clipped her with the side. You know, she was just.
That's too bad. Okay. what did you have any injuries? Did you suffer anything at all on this? Did you hurt your neck? Did you hurt your back?
No.
Nothing, not hurt. And you said that the old lady didn't have any injuries. How did you know about that?
No, I don't. I said she was fine.
She was fine. Did she
you
fall
know,
down when you hit her?
Well, yeah. I mean, she was
Yeah.
on the ground.
Okay. Was she crying?
Yeah.
And they took her in an ambulance?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know anything that happened after that point? Have you been contacted by anybody to be filled in on her condition?
Yeah. Well, her lawyers contacted me, but I haven't got any papers or anything.
Okay. And what did her lawyers say?
She's thinking of suing me.
Okay. Did they say why?
Because I hit her with a car.
But did they say, does she have any of her injuries? Was it mental, physical?
Yeah, she has some physical thing and she's traumatized. I don't know.
Physical. So there's physical and mental trauma?
I guess, yeah.
Well, I'm going to need to see the letter because I'm going to need to know what exactly went on.
Okay.
You said you didn't have any documents, but they've contacted you. So did they send you a letter or did they do this by phone?
They sent me a letter.
Okay. Can you bring the letter in to me as soon as possible so I can take a look at that because we're going to have to deal with that.
Okay.
The good thing is that your record's clean, so you don't really have to worry about that. And you said you weren't drinking, right? Because this is really important.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking.
Did they give you a breathalyzer test?
Yeah.
Okay, no drinking. And I'm going to have to get a copy of that police report for sure. I think that's about all I have right now. Do you have any questions or anything? No? Okay, well, what the best thing to do is if you bring in the letter thing from the other lawyers to me, and then we can start working on figuring out how we're going to defend you. And I think that about concludes our interview for today if you don't have anything else. Thanks for coming in on such short notice today, Mr. Murphy. I really appreciate that. I'm happy we were able to fit you in. Before we start, can I have you a glass of water at all? A tea, coffee?
Water would be great.
Sure.
Thanks.
It's a warm out today, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. Pour some for myself. All right. Well, to start with, I'm going to just generally ask you some questions about the accident or the reason you're here. We'll go over it and then we'll sort of decide where to go from there. So on the phone, I didn't have much chance to speak to you about why you need to see us. So perhaps you'd like to start by telling me just generally what brings you here today.
Well, I'm being sued.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I hit a guy in a car, in my car. I was going home one night and I was driving along Granville Street and out of nowhere this guy comes running out of this bar and I clipped him. And now he's suing me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so perhaps then we'll start by just getting more details on the accident.
Okay.
Maybe if you tell me again, but let me know more about what was happening, the time of day. Just be really specific about everything that was happening around you. Tell me everything you can remember from the period, up to the point of the accident and after. Anything, don't worry about if you think it's insignificant because everything could be important.
Okay. Well, I was just dropping off my girlfriend at her place. And I was going home and it was about 10:30 at night, I guess, maybe 11. And I was driving north on Granville Street. Okay. And I was right in the downtown core, right around Nelson or so. And I'm just driving along and the car next, I was in the inside lane.
Sorry, the inside lane being the one closest to the curb or the one closest to the middle of the road? To
the middle of the road.
Okay.
And there was a car next to me, and I just remember hearing this squeal, and out of nowhere, this guy just he's right in front of me. And then he's just up on my hood, and yeah, and I guess I hit him. So I stopped, and the cops came, and they cordoned off the road, and an ambulance came, and they interviewed me, and they interviewed him. He was he was drunk. He was
Right.
yeah. I guess he was okay. I mean, they went off in the ambulance. They took him off, but the police just, they acted like it was his fault. They asked me a few questions, and
What sort of questions did they ask you?
well, they asked me if I'd been drinking. They asked me how fast I was going, if I had a chance to see the guy. They just basically asked me what happened.
Okay. And what did you tell them?
Well, I'd had a few drinks that night, but I
Okay.
didn't really tell them because it was just a couple with my girlfriend over dinner.
Right. What?
You know, we,
Just for the, I just need to know what exactly, how much did you have to drink, and what was it?
oh, it was wine. We had a bottle at dinner.
Okay.
We shared a bottle.
Okay.
But that was at 6 o'clock, so
Okay.
I thought, you know, I
All right.
thought it didn't matter.
Okay. This, and in regards to speed, how fast did you tell the police you were going?
I was doing about 60.
60,
That's what I
okay.
told them.
And any other answers to their questions that you can recall that you gave?
No, I didn't really even have a chance to see him, really. He was just, he was there, and then he's on my hood, and I mean, thought I killed him.
It happens pretty fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened after the police spoke with you?
I went home. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, fortunately my car was still okay. I mean, you know, there's a dent in it, of course, but I could drive it, so I drove it home, and yeah.
Okay, and have you heard from anybody, police, lawyer, the guy who you ran into at all since the accident?
I haven't heard anything from the police.
Okay.
And I gave them all my information. You know, they had my registration, they had my address,
Okay.
everything. But the guy's lawyer has sent me a letter,
Okay.
and apparently he's suffering emotional distress, and I don't know, he's suing me because he broke his leg or something.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do, it might seem a little repetitive, but I'm going to go through the events of that evening one more time with you, and I'm going to ask you several more detailed questions just for me to get all the information that I need, and perhaps something else will come up that you perhaps haven't thought of, or
Sure.
we'll see what happens. So,
Sure.
you're dropping your girlfriend off at her place. What was the date that this occurred on?
Oh, that was the 12th.
The 12th of
March.
March, okay. It was about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
When with the accident, yeah.
Whereabouts does your girlfriend live downtown?
Oh, she doesn't live downtown. I
sorry.
live downtown. She lives on the west side, about 17th and Oak.
Okay,
A couple of blocks in from there, but you know.
okay. Where do you live?
Oh, I live on Butte.
Butte? What is your exact address there?
It's 763
Mm-hmm.
is the apartment number,
Okay,
and it's the 1100 block of Butte.
okay. All right. And what were the conditions like when you were driving home? What was the weather like?
It had been raining.
Okay.
So the streets were pretty slick, but I mean, it wasn't raining at the time.
Okay.
You know.
Now, the car you're driving, is this your car?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to need to get the information from the car, the registration numbers, and the owner's information, as well as your driver's license number,
Sure.
just for our records. That way, when things go through ICBC, they usually identify you by driver's license number, and it's easier to keep track of the file that way.
Okay.
So you were driving on Granville north towards Nelson, is that right?
Yeah.
How do you usually drive to your house? Do you usually take that route to your home?
Yeah.
When you're coming back from your girlfriend's? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know where exactly did the accident take place? Was it right at the corner of Nelson and Granville, or?
It was right in the middle of the block.
Okay.
I hadn't reached Nelson yet.
Okay.
Because that's where I usually turn.
Okay. Okay. And you would turn which way on Nelson?
I'd turn left.
I seem to think, are you able to turn left on Nelson?
I'm sorry, you're right. No, it's not Nelson, it's the next block north of
Okay.
Nelson. Sorry, I just think
That's
because
okay.
of the Nelson Hotel used to be there.
Right,
and
okay.
Yeah.
So Smythe is the next one, is that
Yes,
street?
that's
Okay.
right.
So you usually turn left on Smythe.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me just draw a diagram. Perhaps that would help us a
Sure.
little bit, because I just want to make sure that we figure this out properly. If that's Nelson,
Mm-hmm.
this is Granville going down, and there's Smythe here. I believe is there a McDonald's right on the corner there on the Smythe?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is.
And so can you show me exactly where it is that you hit him?
Well, it was before Nelson.
Okay.
It was because there's a club right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where he came out of.
Okay.
I'm guessing, because I was driving right along here.
Mm-hmm.
It was right there.
Okay. And you were, just to clarify, in the middle, like the inside
Yes, the
lane?
middle lane,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right. So it happened right outside the club in front of, just before Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
And can you just tell me everything again from the time you were heading down that block, just everything you can remember?
Well, geez, I was driving down. I guess I was flipping through the radio stations,
Okay.
actually, because, you know, Vancouver
Yeah.
radio, it sucks. So
Yeah.
I was just flipping through the
Mhm.
stations, and but just driving around Granville, nothing really
Okay.
remarkable, I don't
Okay.
think.
And the first thing, what sort of drew your attention to the incident was
It was the car
the
next
car
to me,
next to me. Okay.
because I heard like him slamming on his brakes, and there was like a squeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then there's the guy
Okay.
on my hood.
Okay.
So
All right. Yeah, sometimes I just like to go through this 2 or 3 times, because it's just
Sure.
good for me to understand, and
sure thing.
we never know what we come up with. Okay, the car next to you, did they stop after the accident to speak with you, or to speak with the guy, or to find anything out? Or?
Yeah, that guy
Okay.
stuck around. The police talked to
Okay.
him too.
Okay, so what did he do after the accident?
He just got out of his car, and I mean, he just asked me if I was okay, and he looked at the
Mm-hmm.
other guy to make sure he was okay, and I mean, I was just stunned. I don't really know what was going
Yeah,
on.
I
I
know.
just sort of stopped my car, and I was, you know.
Yeah, it's sort of, you lose sense of time, and
Yeah.
you find that it happened to me once
Yeah.
before, and I was so shaking, and I didn't really know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, the man in the car next to you, is he the only person in the car? Was there anyone else in the car with him?
I think he was alone.
Alone. And did you get his name, his address?
No,
No,
I
okay.
thought because the police would talk to him.
Yeah, that's fine. We can get his name and address from the police.
Okay.
That's fine. Now, do you know if there was anybody else, any other witnesses that spoke with the police, or that you saw in the area that might have been?
Oh, the street was packed.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I mean, it was Friday night,
Mhm.
so there was people lined up in front of the club. There was
Right.
people all up and down the place. there.
So did you get any names of witnesses, or did you just leave that for the police?
I thought that I should leave that for the
Okay,
police, because I didn't want to. I mean, I didn't know what to do.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I know it's hard to know.
and I just wanted to go home, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean,
So did you see the police interviewing other people then?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we can get names and addresses of witnesses through the police. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as for the gentleman that ran out into the street, can you tell me what you know about him?
He was a kid. He was like 19. Short hair, short, sort of sandy brown hair. Yeah, he just ran out in, he was like his shirt and, you know, like a t-shirt and jeans really is what he was wearing. And yeah, he was, like I said, he was drunk.
Did you find out his name?
Brian.
Brian. Last name at all?
Frank.
Brian Frank. And how did you get his name and age? Was it from him or?
Well, I heard he had some friends around who were yelling
Okay.
at him.
Okay.
I heard he looks 19. I don't know how
Okay.
old he is.
Okay.
And then it was part of the legal papers that the lawyers have sent me.
Right, okay. Brian Frank. So what happened just after you hit him? What happened
What happened?
to him?
To him. He just laid on the ground for a while and he was
Okay.
moaning and sort of rolling around.
Okay.
And then well, I guess it was actually the fire trucks that arrived first, and
Okay.
the guys took a look at him, and then the paramedics came.
So you had fire trucks, ambulances, and police cars.
Yeah.
It must have been quite the scene.
Yeah, yeah, and it stopped traffic on Granville,
A
so
little
I'm sure
intimidating, yeah.
people were real fond of me then.
So now that you said they took him away in the ambulance earlier, I
Yeah.
believe you mentioned that?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you heard anything more about the condition beyond, I think you mentioned he had a broken leg?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything else?
Don't think so.
No, okay. Well, we'll get more information from him through his lawyer. Do you happen to remember the lawyer's name? His lawyer's name?
Yes, Eastwood. Peter Eastwood is the name of the lawyer.
Okay. If you'd be able to bring in the letter that they sent you as soon
Sure.
as you can, or mail it in, it would be great. That way we have it for our files and we can contact the firm and see
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Okay.
So after did the police speak to you after the ambulance left or before?
The whole time. I
Oh.
mean, there's lots of cops.
Yeah. I just want to go over the conversation you had with the police again.
Sure.
The questions I have listed that they asked you was, had you been drinking, how quickly were you driving, and did you see Brian Frank before
Yeah.
the accident? Was there any other questions you can think that they asked you?
Just what I'd been doing that evening, where I was coming from, where I was going. What else did they ask me? It all seems like a blur, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Okay. Did they ask you to take a breathalyzer test at all?
No, they didn't.
Okay, so there was nothing discussed beyond just asking if you'd had a drink.
Yeah.
And how did you answer that question?
Well, I told them that I had some wine with dinner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that pretty much covers the incident, except did you suffer any injuries in this accident?
My neck's kind of hurting, but I don't know if it's, I mean, you know, I just can't work out at the gym the way I used to.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's serious or not. I got to go to a physio, I guess, or
Have you been to your doctor?
no.
Okay, that might be a good place to start
Okay.
because there may be benefits you might be able to, certain circumstances that you might be able to collect from ICBC. And if you go to the doctor first, that's the best place because a doctor's report is has a lot more weight than a physiotherapist report.
Okay.
And then your doctor can send you on the right track for sure.
Okay.
So maybe I'll just get your doctor's name so that when you...
I don't have a doctor.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just usually go to emergency if
Oh, okay.
you know, I'm not really sick that much,
Yeah.
so.
Well, a good place to go, there's a lot of clinics in Vancouver and you
Okay.
don't need an appointment. You can just walk in. They're usually open every day of the week. So
Okay.
you can just go in there and there's always at least one doctor on duty.
Great.
They'll help you. They're great. They're actually usually a lot more accommodating than regular GPs who are always trying to rush us in and out.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just look under the phone book, there's a lot.
Okay.
Even just driving down the street, I'm sure you'd see one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once you've done that, if you could let us know of the doctor's name and then ask the doctor to send us a report,
Sure.
that would be great, because that will help us as well. So just a few more things. The car is yours.
Yeah.
And what type of car is it?
Oh, it's a 92 Acura.
1992 Acura. I just bought an Acura.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Are you pretty happy with yours?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, I like mine.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
92 Acura. I have I'm going to get your registration information from you, your driver's license, and you're the sole owner of the car?
Yeah.
And whose name is it insured under?
My name.
Your name? Okay. Okay. And the witnesses, are you aware at all, what kind of car were they in, the ones next to you?
Oh, geez. It was like, I'm not sure. It's sort of that champagne color. Mm-hmm. It's a newer car. It's like a Mercedes-Benz or something like that.
Okay.
Looked like a nice car. I mean,
Yeah, you didn't happen to get the license plate?
no.
Okay.
No.
That's okay. Like I said, the police will have it.
Yeah.
This way, at least I can have something to go by when they have the list of witnesses. I'll know which one was the one beside you.
Yeah.
I think I've pretty much collected all the details that I need. We've discussed your car, the incident, the witnesses, the Brian Frank. Now, do you have any questions for me? Anything else you feel you need to add?
Not really, but do you really think I should go see a doctor? I mean, is that...
I would say yes. I mean, if your neck's giving you trouble, even if you hadn't been in a motor vehicle accident, you're just a friend of mine, I'd be telling you to go see the doctor.
Okay.
But especially since you have been, I would recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, that way you can just put your mind at rest, and maybe they can help you suggest something that'll work instead of you having to suffer with an injury for longer than you need to.
Okay.
Anything else? I mean, nothing is insignificant, even if you think...
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay. Well, from here, what I'll do is I'll speak to the lawyer I work for, Mr. Simmons, and I'll go over this case with him, and I'll collect the rest of the information that needs to be the police report and the information from your car, and I'll give it all to him, and we'll have a discussion. And what he'll do is, once he's read everything and we have all the reports, he'll call you to set up an appointment with you, and then you can come in to discuss how to proceed with him, because he'll be in charge of representing you.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't think I have anything else. If that's all,
Great.
I think that this is a good start for us.
Great.
Okay. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.